such event, what you can do? You can say this book may be marked and original may be returned, and by stating so, after the original is marked and returned, you can keep it with you and do your business. You means the party. So such documents are referred as per Order 6, 7, Rule 17. I think we covered today Order 6 and 7, which are very important in order to understand what are pleadings. There are some more provisions in CPC which deals with the pleadings, but that is not that much important or necessary now to understand the pleadings. So with this, I have completed Order 6, Rule 7. Order 6 and Order 7. I am stopping here now in order to clear any doubts to any of you. Please ask.
Yes,
Anybody?
sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Sir?
Yeah, you can ask, please.
So what happens if somebody has changed the advocate in the middle of the case when already filed the additional written statement, but certain facts was not involved?
You can file an appeal.
Can we again file the additional written statement, sir?
Yeah, you can file. I will tell you like this. I came to
Okay,
you
sir.
and gave instructions stating.
When already additional written statement was filed.
Again, you can file another additional statement. If you are able to prove before the court that at the time of filing of the additional written statement, my previous advocate, he did not act as per law, rather he is colluded with the plaintiff's advocate, or he was having some inconvenience due to which he could not properly draft the contents in the written statement. You can mention it. The ultimate goal of us and the court is to do justice. So what we have to see is whether real disputes between the parties are decided by the court or not. So if the true facts or important facts your previous advocate did not plead, you can file another application mentioning, sir, praying the court, the circumstances under which the real facts could not be pleaded, then the court will definitely understand your agony or trouble of the party and then immediately allow you to file another additional written statement or amend the written statement or additional written statement. Okay? Okay. Anybody
How
else?
many times the court can permit? How many times?
I have already stated while explaining to you about Order 6, Rule 17. Okay? There are two stages in a trial.
Okay, sir.
There are two stages in a suit. One is prayer trial and after trial is started. Prayer trial is started means till the date of framing of the issues, trial is not started.
Yes, sir.
After framing the issues, when the court orders for submission of list of documents and witnesses which you have to do it within 14 days, the trial is not started. In civil law, in criminal law, till the date of cognizance of the offence, after filing of this charge sheet, trial is not started. Before the trial is started, in civil law, before cognizance is taken in criminal law, you can ask for amendments or filing of written statements or additional written statements afresh as a matter of right. As a matter of right. If it is after trial is started, you have to explain to the court that these facts are absolutely necessary to decide the real questions in controversy and what are the circumstances that were prevented you to agitate and submit those facts before the court after the trial is started in exceptional circumstances by showing that even after due diligence by you and your party you not able to submit those facts before the court. Suppose one witness is there, he is a very important witness, his whereabouts are not known, he left this country, you don't know how his face is. Due to those reasons you could not explain certain facts relating to that witness at the time of filing a written statement or subsequently when you filed additional written statement. Later on, one fine day, your party comes to you, sir, that witness has returned from foreign countries, now he is available, please mention about that witness as a witness on our behalf while placing evidence before the court. Then you have to explain to the court, sir, at the time of filing, this witness was in foreign countries. His whereabouts are not known. Even after due diligence, my party could not know all these facts. Now he came to know. Please permit me to amend the plaint or amend the written statement or permit to me to file the additional written statement. Like that you can ask. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Yes, next. Any other question? Anybody else? Please free to ask questions. Please ask questions.
Questions from my end, sir.
Anybody else? I was sometimes I explained in Telugu in order to make all of you to understand easily, but I am repeating after Telugu explanation what is stated by me in English also. If you did not understand anything anywhere, you can raise your hand and ask me. Anybody else? I think now we are understood as per order 6 what are the facts that you have to mention and in what circumstances, for any reason, if you fail to mention, you can ask for amendment of the plaint or written statement and all that. I also explained to you in what cases the court may reject your plaint. Order 7, Rule 11 explains no cause of action. I already stated, I don't want to repeat. So, I think I am able to tell you about all the intricacies of Order 6 and 7. Okay. Now, I will tell you some important 2 aspects. Actually, in CPC, total provisions, total sections are 158. Total chapters are 9, 11. Chapters are 11. Sections are, total sections are, 1 minute. Total, total sections are 158, I am correct. Total sections are 158 and schedules are 5 schedules, out of which 2nd to 5th schedules are deleted, repealed. Only first schedule are still in force. In the first schedule, Appendix A, please note down. In the first schedule, rules of procedure, under the heading rules of procedure, Appendix A deals with pleadings. Appendix A deals with pleadings. So, in order to prepare the pleadings well, while drafting the plaint or written statement, please go through the forms prescribed in Schedule 1. In Schedule 1, there are several forms prescribed. They are pleadings, under the title pleadings. The first form is title suits. If anybody comes to you for title suits, you want to draft a plaint, please go through what is mentioned in Appendix A pleadings, title of suits. Next one is, after pleading 1, and third is money suits, money overpaid. Different categories of models of plaints are mentioned in Appendix A under the heading called as pleadings. So you can refer, read, understand, and afterwards, if you still feel in any of the forums prescribed, there is any doubt, either while drafting the plaint or written statement, you can ask me to explain the same. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Another important is Appendix A, Proforma number 16, last one. It says about particulars. This proforma is mentioned as per Order 6, Rule 5. If the court orders you to submit any particulars, you have to mention the particulars ordered to be placed before the court in that forum. Okay? Then Appendix B and other things, they deal with process and other things which we can't cover now today in this our class. So Appendix A deals with pleadings, and there are different proformas, forms of plaints and written statements. You can adopt them or make necessary amendments as per your choice and necessity in that particular case. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Anybody else? Till now,
Okay.
if anybody is having any doubt, please come forward and ask, because we don't deal with all these in next tomorrow and day after tomorrow classes. We are ending now about the provisions. Yesterday and day before yesterday, we discussed about what we discussed. We discussed about various principles. Today we discussed about various provisions. So I told you already how many sections are there, and now I am telling you how many orders are there. How many orders are there? Anybody? 41 orders are there. 51 orders are there. No, not 50. This Roman L means how much? L1 అంటే 50 కదమ్మా, ఆర్డర్ 51. సో 51 ఆర్డర్స్ ఆర్ దేర్.
Yes, sir.
ఏమ్మా
51.
51.
Yes, sir.
సో appendix to first schedule. In first schedule, pleadings A to H are the schedules. Order 1 says what it is. I hope anybody who is having any doubt may come forward and ask till now. When we go to Evidence Act and Civil Rules of Practice, we don't come back and explain to you all these things. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Any doubt?
Okay, sir. No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
If anybody knows any joke or anything just to make us to laugh, you are at liberty to crack the jokes. Or if you all of you are sleeping, I don't mind to go and sleep. I prepared 2 videos. As it is, I will be sending to to all of you. You can go through
Okay, sir.
and
Okay, sir. Sure.
any doubt is there, you can ask tomorrow also.
So, one quick clarification, sir.
Please.
Sir, this AP Civil Rules of Practice and Circular. So, these are very specific to the state-wise, the practices that should be implemented. Is it right, sir, when compared to the CPC? Small minor changes or practices which need to be implemented in AP, those are framed as these Civil Rules
No,
of Practice and Circular.
I told you already, Article 227 of the Constitution and
Yes, sir.
Section 126 of CPC. Read those two. One is article and another is section. These two,
Article 2.
Article 227, Section 126. 227 of the Constitution, 126 of the CPC empowers the High Court, not the Supreme Court, empowers the High Court to make its own procedure depending upon the circumstances or places of that state.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So that rules of procedure, rules of practice is applicable to that state. Okay? Every state has got its own amendments power. మీకు అందరికీ తెలుసు కదా, ప్రతి స్టేట్లో ఒక లెజిస్లేచర్ ఉంటుంది, అది లా చేస్తుంది. ఆ లా, దట్ లా ఈజ్ అప్లికబుల్ టు దట్ స్టేట్. In Andhra Pradesh, let us say in Andhra Pradesh, one Disha Act is made recently. One Disha Act. What is that Disha Act? It deals with speedy disposal of criminal cases where victim is a girl and some offence is committed against the said victim. That law is not applicable in Telangana. There is no Disha Act. So, any law that is made with the empowerment or power of a particular state is applicable to the transactions or events occurred in that state. Am I clear? Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, anybody else? Anybody else, please? Please,
No, sir.
please be clear. Okay, this has is this.
Sir, one more thing. I don't remember it exactly, but I just wanted to recollect that. When there is a conflict between CPC and any of the rule in the civil rules of practice, then which one will prevail? Means it is definitely CPC, right, sir?
What is it? What is your question?
When there is a conflict regarding any rule, any law or section in CPC and civil rules of practice, then which one will prevail?
What do you mean by that? CPC and civil rules of practice. See, civil procedure code is made by the central
Yes, sir.
government, that is parliament. Okay,
Yes, sir.
state can make some amendments of CPC.
Was or different.
State
Okay.
can make some amendments in CPC, and state also can make some amendments to civil rules of practice.
Okay.
Sometimes what happens, there may be conflict between civil procedure code rule and rule of practice.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
In that event, court will try to do justice. It won't directly say this is applicable, that is not applicable. It will understand your inconvenience. Or if it feels that a particular rule is not in conformity with the source of law. What is that source of law? Article 227 and section 126 empowers the court to make such rules.
Yes, sir.
So 126 is the power under which the High Court has got power to make rules. If any rule is made in contravention to the CPC, if any rule is made without any power, the court will amend. Court will order to amend. Rules are prepared by the High Court only. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Not by the legislature. Civil rules of practice prepared by the High Court, then adopted by the state government.
Okay, sir.
So it can amend it. I will explain you when time comes that there are certain provisions, certain times when there are conflicts of CPC and also civil rules of practice, and the what court has done and all that in our next class.
Okay, sir.
Acha, one more interesting. Is it over? Any doubts are there?
No, sir.